Hey, what is up, guys? This is RanStar264 on the set of Game vs. Evil, Season 4, the final season, working on the final episodes. And anyways, so these are all the ships I'm using on this set. Okay, so those two ships and one more ship over there. That's supposed to be the Pillar of Autumn, and that is the Yamato blockade runner, and then all these ships here. I'm kind of going to go over all of the rebel ships, or all the good guy ships, and then I'll show you guys my Imperial, I guess, army. So, I'm not going to go super in-depth, but as we can see, we got Poe Dameron's X-Wing, we got a couple of those, then we have some T-70 X-Wings, we got a couple A-Wings, some ARC 170s, that's the Moldy Crow, that is an actual Star Wars ship. The U-Wing, got some Jedi Fighters. Those are Z95 Headhunters. Got some Y-Wings and a bunch of X-Wings. And then the VF-1J and VF-1D Veritech. Millennium Falcon, obviously. That's the Outrider, which I actually think looks cooler, just a little bit. And yeah, then we have my favorite ship that I own of Star Wars is the Blockade Runner. Now, this thing is huge. Like, I'm trying to okay, so it's like a couple figures next to it. I'm trying to think of something like. Here we go. Here, that's a computer. I'm trying to think. Okay, so that's my Master Chief figure. Souped up one. This thing is big. Okay, so this is like it next to my tripod. I mean, this thing is huge. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's a foot, but it's almost a foot long, I think. This thing is huge, and it's my favorite ship because it is the first ship you ever see in Star Wars, and it's the biggest ship I own in whatever this scale is. And it's so awesome. It's got tons of detail on it, and yeah, we don't really use it a whole lot, but I've used it in a couple videos. And I love this thing. It's so big, and it just, man, this is the first ship you see in Star Wars, and it's just so awesome. My only complaint is there's no little Star Wars poster on the inside of it. And if you're asking why I mentioned that of all things, because in the original one there is a little Star Wars poster in there. And you can actually see it at Disneyland, which is now closed while I'm filming this. So this is all the Rebel ships. Some X-Wings, some Y-Wings look a little different because they're just painted different, but alright, on to the Imperials. Alright, so this is the Imperial set. Now I know this is kind of crazy looking, and you're like, well, that looks pathetic. It's a cardboard thing that you spray painted black. Correct, it's supposed to be a mega Star Destroyer with a giant cannon in it to combat my Yamato. And here, now this to me is a little more interesting because TIE Fighters to me have more unique designs to them sometimes, and there are a lot of variations of TIE Fighter. So I'm going to quickly go over all the ones I have. Okay, so all of these ones are just regular TIE Fighters from the original trilogy. This is Special Forces TIE Fighter. That's First Order TIE Fighter. That is an Imperial ship. I forgot its name. That's an Imperial TIE Fighter carrier ship. That is the Tooth. That's a U-Wing, I believe. And that's a Bounty Hunter ship. I forgot what it was called. But here we got Sabine's TIE Fighter. I want to put that in there because I think it just kind of stands out. And then we have some droid fighters. Then we have some TIE Bombers. Then we have some TIE Interceptors. A different painted one. This has got to be my favorite TIE Fighter, or one of my favorites. Just because it's bright red. It's got that whole Sith look to it. I really enjoy it. And this is a TIE Defender. This is my favorite. This has got to be another one of my favorite looking TIE Fighters. That just looks wicked. I think they should have gone with this design for the newer TIE Fighters. For the First Order, to make them really threatening. This is interesting. This is a TIE Phantom. These can actually cloak, and this has got to be the least TIE Fighter looking out of all of them. And this is Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. TIE Advanced, and these are TIE Advanced prototypes. Got a couple of those. That's another TIE Defender. And yeah, and there's some different color variations. Like, I guess one can say this one, because it's whiter, is from A New Hope, and this one's darker, so it's from The Empire Strikes Back. But, I mean, and right there you can see I had to fix that TIE Fighter. Oh, and that ship, I don't know what it is. I bought it at a flea market for like $1. Then we have Spaceball 1, the Death Star, which I actually got from my friend Xavier. Dude, this thing's awesome. I modified it a little bit, painted it. It was originally like a dark, like a light black, dark gray color. And now it's a proper grayish, more gray color. So yeah, it's all my TIE Fighters, and I got some bigger ones. Just to make this force look bigger. You know, I think both forces are about equal in size. I think this one has more. This definitely has more bigger ships, especially with this guy. And yeah. And yeah, so that's all my fighters and stuff. And I think I do have some more fighters, but I don't feel like breaking them all out. And I do have a couple of duplicates of. I have another Millennium Falcon and a couple other ships, but they're kind of broken, so I don't feel like using them. And they're really fragile. I do have a strange Star Wars fighter called a K-Wing. It's like a bomber on steroids. It's pretty cool looking, but it's kind of broken, so I don't really want to use it. And oh man, yeah, the Blockade Runner's gotta be my favorite ship. I do like all the little X-Wings. I do love the Y-Wings and the Millennium Falcon. That one's really cool. That's really my ship. I got it for my birthday a while back. But yeah, I love Star Wars, and when I was gonna make this whole series, I thought Star Wars was gonna be a key part to all of this, especially with R2D2 being in it and Stormtrooper, and just X-Wings are really easy because I've got a bunch of them, and yeah. And they're really this is a good guy army, this is a bad guy army. It's simple for the audience to understand. And narratively, it kind of makes sense. You got the good guys, you got the bad guys. We move forward. And the two Veritechs are there because I love Robotech, and I really wanted to add something Robotech in there. And I do have some other Robotech mecha that you might be seeing in Game Receival. Yeah, Game Receival has been really awesome. I've been talking for way too long. This is Ryan, SR264. Say hi, guys. Peace.